I am delighted to propose this motion in support of the Diamond Jubilee Bridge. It's a great London story, a bottom-up design process resulting in a beautiful, innovative design for a very simple bridge, building on London's engineering tradition to provide an elegant solution to several problems. The design is for a pedestrian and cycle bridge, which will provide a key new accessible link between Battersea and Fulham. This would allow better connection between the north and south of the river, both in terms of transport, leisure and economic activity. Now, the need for a bridge in this location between Battersea and Wandsworth bridges was first acknowledged in Parliament back in 1924. A small architectural practice, One World Design, has brought the idea to a fully worked up design with planning permission on both sides of the river, mayoral consent, and even has foundations on one side installed by a developer for free. Planning permission is due to expire in 2017, making this motion especially timely. This motion calls on the Mayor to appoint TfL as the delivery agent, not to pay for it, but to provide confidence to potential funders. Transport for London are carrying out their own due diligence checks to assess the benefits and the costs of the bridge and will report back at the end of this month. They are expected to report favourably. Wandsworth's financial appraisal indicates that the scheme has a benefit-cost ratio of 2 to 1. This represents high value for money to both TfL and the Department for Transport. Now, there are other high-profile bridge plans in the Mayor's in-tray. I must stress this project is as far removed from the Garden Bridge as it could possibly be. The design has been produced for free. Wandsworth have offered to adopt the Diamond Jubilee Bridge and maintain it. The bridge is fully publicly accessible, landing in public space on each side of the river. It would never be closed for private events. Sitting alongside a rail bridge, it will obscure no views and will even provide a practical inspection platform for railway maintenance. There are no gimmicks. It's a practical, pure and simple means to get across the river. In terms of cost, the Garden Bridge will cost about £185 million so far, whereas the Diamond Jubilee Bridge will cost under £30 million. For these reasons, this bridge enjoys huge local support, and unlike the Garden Bridge, there is rightly no protest movement against it. I visited the site on Monday and walked around the area and could see exactly why so many people have got behind this project. In terms of transport, it will provide many new options for residents and people working on both sides of the river. Walking through the Winstanley estate towards Clapham Junction, it was very clear that the bridge would provide real alternative travel options. And by making walking and cycling a more convenient choice, it would relieve pressure on the overcrowded single-decker buses. Double-deckers don't fit under the railway bridges south of the river. It would relieve congestion at Clapham Junction, and by providing a direct route across the river will make walking and cycling preferable to jumping in a car, thus reducing congestion and helping to clean up our air. I was very pleased to be talked through the proposals by the architect and the engineers responsible for the design. And sorry if this is a bit geeky, but they've designed it to minimise any lorry use, bringing materials to site. All parts of the bridge would be floated up the river. The only work from landside would be foundations and lifts. They've also ensured no disruption to the shipping routes, so for instance, allowing all the muck from other big projects like the Thames Tideway Tunnel to continue to be extracted via the river. Assembly members, this is a common sense project. The budget is a drop in the ocean compared to other river crossings, and it would make a huge improvement to the everyday lives of Londoners living and working in the area. That's why this motion is designed to give political support to this plucky project in the hope that the Mayor can work with government to make it a reality and deploy TfL's expertise to help it on its way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The seconder is Assembly Member Berry. Do you want to speak now?
No, I'd like to formally second and reserve my right to speak later.
Thank you. Assembly Member Boff.
May I say I welcome this motion. This has been a campaign that has been picked up by the Member of Parliament for Battersea, Jane Ellison, and she's felt and she's been to the front of that campaign now for at least 2 years, and that follows on from the local St Mary's Park Ward Conservative Action Team, who surveyed the area to find out what the desire was, and that strongly came over the residents on that side, certainly in that particular ward, were supportive of this bridge. As has been pointed out, it seems a whole lot more joined up and less full of rancour than another bridge project we could have mentioned. And so I absolutely welcome this, and I wish it well. And the key thing for us, of course, being Conservatives, is that you have said that this must be subject to providing the economic case. And I know Jane Ellison herself is very insistent that we now embark upon identifying all sorts of sources of income to make sure that this is a positive benefit both to those residents who want to cross the river and also those residents who want their money kept in their pocket. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Assembly Member Eshalomi.
And in principle, we do support this bridge as well. And essentially, if you look at the growing population across London, we need to look at how we can reduce congestion on the roads, and more river crossings are needed. The data is there to suggest that the growing population will be in East London. So essentially, we'll definitely need more crossings on that side of London. I think in looking at the proposals for this bridge, one would question the fact that in 2013 it was granted planning approval. On the website, it states that construction should have begun this summer. So there are still concerns around that funding. Yes, 20 million seems small in comparison to the Garden Bridge, but there are still concerns about that 22 million. In essence, you're asking TfL to be the delivery agent. What will that mean? On the one hand, all of us are united in our opposition to TfL being involved in the Garden Bridge. So if that 22 million isn't found, will that lumber TfL with a bill? We should be careful about what we're asking TfL to commit to on that. The other key question is around if the money isn't found, are we going to ask Wandsworth Council, Hammersmith Council, other local groups to come up with that funding? We do need to see that clear business plan from the private sponsors. I think the other thing that we definitely need to look at on this is how we get support for some of the other bridges across London that we desperately need. Walking and cycling, we should be promoting that, and there's also a question of the location of this bridge as well. There are a number of bridges in that area already, Wandsworth Bridge being one of them, so it's a case of again saying, is this really the best place for this bridge? So with a lot of reservation on this side, we will abstain on this motion, but it's not saying that we're not in favour of more additional river crossings across London.
Thank you very much. Assembly Member Berry.
Very much. I'm delighted to be supporting this motion. This is a really great project, and I mean, unlike, to answer some of the questions just raised, we're not asking the Assembly here to choose one bridge, or in fact to put any money into this project. The purpose of this motion is asking the Mayor to appoint TfL as the delivery agent, and the point of that is very, very clear. In Treasury terms, in terms of going to the government and asking for funding, this bridge has a very, very strong strategic case. It provides important connectivity in a very, very busy place in London where there is a lot of development and increasing in population going on. The economic case has already been calculated. It is being checked. The motion puts a caveat in there to make sure that the economic case has to be confirmed. But it also has, apart from the 2-to-1 benefit cost ratio that's there in the sort of basic economic case, it's also got wider benefits in terms of helping people to shift to walking and cycling, things that we must be building up at a strategic level in London, and something that I really hope today was boosted further by the appointment of Lynn Sloman to Transport for London's board. She's an absolute expert in supporting walking and cycling, and I'm certain would appreciate the economic case, the wider economic benefits for this bridge. The financial case is the one in question. It doesn't have funding, and we're not asking for funding with this motion. What we're asking for is a real boost to the management case by appointing TfL, who are very good at delivering projects, as the delivery agent. I hope we'll vote for this. I think it's common sense for us to do this. We must join with our MPs, join together, united as a London Assembly, give this project our support and help London to make the best possible case to government and other funders for supporting this bridge as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those members in favour of the motion, please show. 6. Those against? Carried nem con. I think that's correct. No, nem con. Okay, thank you very much. Can we go to the